What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So what we're gonna be doing here is how to build the Witch King like a Chad. So pretty much first up, this guy is an absolute monster. Obviously, he's one of the most popular ones, if you could probably tell already. So let's kind of dive into his first title here. So pretty much he works really well with the leader command. Fits him really well. This works out really well with the amount of troops he can command and pretty much what he specializes in. So this is honestly the best one for him without a doubt. So going over his stat distribution, 2.26, that is really high. 1.67, really good, and 1.91, that's also a really good modifier. Really good might stat. With how much damage his troops already do, this modifier helps out a lot more. So he's honestly a unit buffing beast. So that's what he is. He's not a damage dealer himself. It's all about his unit buffing, and that's what we'll kind of dive into in his portrait. Let me actually just go ahead and dive into his items real quick. So the Urukai Broadsword, this is a pretty basic one. I think this is a really solid item for him. I haven't gotten too many evil side items specifically, so I felt like this was the best one to put on him. He is a very more or less specific person in which you build him. He needs to be evil side only. So I guess you could say he's a pretty good roleplay character if you stick to evil side. So just high might, HP given to Urukai and works. So that's a pretty good item for him, considering he mainly uses these two. And then after he performs an attack, he just gets additional burn damage. So that works well with him. This is definitely the best armor for him. The reason being is because of his unit buffing skills. So might, focus, speed. I would have liked to have maybe have seen something like similar to this, but with a unit stat, like attack, HP, something like that. But this is pretty good with the all allies focus damage received. So that's really good. I do also have the 4 points here. War Helm, this is honestly a really good item. Obviously, it's a gold, so don't worry too much about that. Mainly, you just want to focus on the might focus and then the army bonuses. Anything that gives army on him is going to be your priority. So the first round, enemy commander, and this is every round, chance to inflict each round, 10% chance. So it's really good. I really like this too. I just don't have it leveled yet since I haven't been leveling them, but this is definitely one of the better ones. Might focus and then army attack, and then all allied melee units damage dealt plus 2%. So that's a pretty solid item. So let's get into what everyone's here for. Pretend like you didn't see this. So basically, first up, the way that I've seen him work best is the most consistent way to make sure your units do well. In my opinion, that's where you want to be focusing on, or your units particularly. So, next season we are starting Evil Side, for instance, and this is how I'm going to be building him. So, I'm sure this guy is a bit one of those people where, you can make him work several different ways because he's just good as it is. But the way that I'll be building him to start next season, I'm going to be going down the Black Captain route. So I'm going to be doing points in here and then devoting points into here as well. Now, the Morgul Commander is good, don't get me wrong, but whenever you start to especially get that third tree, the Ring Wraith, he really starts to open up in what he can do. So while I think Morgul Commander is really good at R0, I think at R3, that kind of opens up and he's able to do more damage. I think in the current meta, I think damage is currently your best option rather than defense. And the way Black Captain works is Orcs, Urukai, Evilmen, and Trolls, races mentioned above, plus H2 HP. I don't feel like you should narrow yourself down to using no Evilmen and no Trolls, because Trolls are really good with him because of how much damage they're doing. Using Trolls makes up for this point right here. So whenever you throw Mountain Trolls on there and they take the damage, there's almost no need for this whenever you're able to dish out that damage with like the Alchemist, the Arbalisk, people like that, snipers, places like that. So that's my reasoning for not going towards Morgul Commander. So basically, I just devote points into here, and mainly just start to stack this up. So go ahead and grab all these points. So the main reason why you go Convir is because within your first 2 rounds, I mean, you can easily start to kill everyone. I mean, you know, trolls acting first. If you have Ravengers, I mean, good gosh, this skill is going to be astronomically stupid. So, that's the main reason why you go Conver and then Black Captain to start, in my opinion. So Lord of the Nazgul, this is where I've seen people do like 15 points in the here. They don't go into the other ones. I think that you should stick away from where he does damage. You want to promote your units to do more damage. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way into Lord of Nazgul right here. Mainly because this is so good. I mean, enemy commander minus 30%, and the enemy commander has a chance of being stunned. And I'll kind of dive into the fifth tree. He's someone where you can divulge so many builds. This is not a linear person. This person has so many different builds. This is the way that I'm building him and the way that I've seen success with him. So now this is where it kind of diverges of where I think you can maybe experiment a little and find your median is. You could do 15 points here and get Ring Wraith all the way maxed out. That's not bad. The main reason why is because with this right here, you wouldn't have enough points to max this, and you wouldn't get that 100% or like 90, whatever it is, of Nazgul Screech against the two enemy targets, inflicting the stun. So I would like to go down Break Defense right here. I think that this is a really solid option. Really high physical damage as a round 1 cooldown. So he is doing a little bit of damage, but the main thing is that defense minus 30% for 1 round. So that right there just keeps promoting that damage done onto the enemy units. Now right here, obviously we're going to stick away from Inflame. He doesn't need to be doing any more flame damage. It doesn't really help him. I've gone down that before. It doesn't increase that large amount of damage compared to where you could be doing it elsewhere. So Ring Wraith. This is a really good tree, obviously, on all of them. Now, you might be thinking Morgul Poison. There's not really a point like this right here. There's not really too much of a point. All of his skills are devoted to unit buffing, so don't worry too much about this. I would go into this right here, though, mainly for that % chance to stun, so you can go up right here and keep devoting points into here. You could go all the way into Ring Wraith right here as well. That would be fine. But I like to do it right here just for that chance of stunning. I think it's really good. So this is the way I've got him currently built at R3. So I don't have enough money to kind of just dump into the game and get R5 and do a thing like that. So this is the way I would build him if I was using Fell Beast, for instance. So if I was using Fell Beast and I had R5, for instance, the way that I would build him would be getting these two right here. These are like the two best daggum extra trees in the game, obviously. Defense minus 35, stacked up to 7. Dishearten, stack up to 30% as well. So, no, 21. Horrible at math. This right here, then you get 15. Fell Beast gains stun immunity. Pretty much throughout the whole fight, the Witch King gains 45 max. Enemy commander minus 45 might and focus. So, that right there is going to take up 28 skill points. So, then you're kind of left with, you're at R5, you've got 5 additional points, and if you've done the 4 additional points like how I have, you've pretty much got 9 points on top of that to spend at level 50. So I think he's going to have 60 points. My math's pretty off. But either way, 28 points to do these. I don't know why my screen's flickering. Now, I would still go with Lord of Nazgul here. So you get that minus 30%. The enemy commander has minus 45. Might and focus. Now, at that point, I wouldn't go Break Defense. I would divert those points over to Ring Wraith now. So the reason being is because you already have minus 35 across all of their enemy units. So that minus defense, it could be better spent elsewhere. And how I'm going to describe that is because of Ring Wraith's poison, burn, and focus damage. So I would divert all of your points now into Ring Wraith and Nazgul Screech. So depending on your R level and what all you have available, I would do all of your points now into Ring Wraith and Nazgul Screech. The reason being is because Fell Beasts do poison damage. You can throw in some trolls for tanking, and then throw in like Morbol Arbalisk. You could even throw in the Alchemist as well. Those are the Alchemist and the Morbol Arbalisk are like his bread and butter. One of the bigger problems with Morbol Arbalisk is because of Conver. They already have a chance to follow up each round. Don't get me wrong. I use them anyway on him right now for Ring Wraith bonus damage. There's not too many options for where, you could use snipers, but then you're not getting the Ring Wraith bonus. So it's a bit of a mixed bag of who you want to use as archers, because there's only so many people that do burn, focus, and poison damage. So at the end of the day, you're going to be mixing up some units that maybe double up on effects and they can't be used. So, but yeah, that's the way I would build them, is all points right here, and then Lord of Nazgul 15, and then go into Ring Wraith at Nazgul Screech. So that's the way I would build him if I had R5, and if I was using Fell Beast, which I do think is probably his best option. Another tree which maybe it would take a lot of experimenting with would be going all the way down here, getting 15 and 7 right here, and then going all the way into Lord of Nazgul as much as you could. You might not be able to get enemy commander being stunned, but this would be a large amount of damage. The Fell Beast would get a chance to follow up each round, which would be a lot of damage. But I think the safest route would be to go Ring Wraith, because the Fell Beast do poison damage and the Alchemists do burn damage. And then you can throw Mountain Trolls in there, which are like such a good unit as a whole, just to soak up that damage. Let the Fell Beast, let the Alchemists do all of their work. Just knock them out. It's, yeah, really solid build on that end. So that kind of wraps up the way that I would build him in several different routes. I do not think you should be doing Ring Wraith full through, especially doing Mortal Poison, and especially in Flame. That's not where, use like the Undying, use Kamul, or use the Shadow for doing, like Mortal Poison, or doing things like that do self-buffing damage. So that's my explanation of his portrait. Now, since everyone's kind of crying about on the Faramir thing, I do have reports to go. I do have one specific report to go through that happened in our last duel that I'm sure y'all have seen. So right up right here, I'm going to dive into this. This is obviously a good matchup for him. It's straight damage, and that kind of knocking down EM or his damage with Lord of Nazgul. And as you can tell, I've got him built. And even this right here isn't even doing anything in this fight, but yet that's still there as well to counteract. So, obviously I've got everything set up. The only thing that in the reports, commander damage 56%, soldier damage 79. I was, look at that, the soldier damage was 267. You see, he's not dealing out that damage. Let's go into the report though. So, Black Captain 30% conveyor. Mortal Arbalest, like I explained, they already have dual blows, but I really wanted the Ring Wraith bonus as well, because they're already doing poison damage. So they do get the chance to follow up or gain initiative. So they do gain that. So they're going to be first to attack. So I go ahead and activate everything. So I do have a bit of double upping on the Lord of Nazgul and the helmet. So that is kind of a thing, just to make sure, no matter what, he's getting stunned. He's going to have a chance of getting stunned. So, Alright, so just kind of going through a little bit, look at the amount of burn damage. So he even double attacked right here. He already lost, all of my units are attacking first. That's the reason why you go conveyor, and then you can do that double upping. So you can already tell the amount of damage that my guys are doing. So that's mainly it right there. This kind of goes into, the sheer amount of damage this guy can put out. Here we are again, double upping, additional poison damage going on them as well. You can just see through these reports, I am dishing out so much damage right here. It is unreal. So, a lot of it's about making, you want your, look at how many units are left. My trolls got melted. Good. That's what they're there for. The poison arbalisk as well. Look at how many troops I have left. They, at the end of the fight, were still doing that much damage. Like, he could have had more troops, and my alchemist and my mortal arbalisk were going to keep doing that much more damage. So that's kind of where I set this guy up to build. You can also set the shadow up the same way. Trolls. That's really a solid evil defense, in my opinion, as a whole, is doing the mountain build and then doing 2 additional units on top of that. Throw out that damage. But without further ado, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this kind of gives some people a little bit of explanation on the Witch King, how to build him, the several different paths you can do. He's a bit of a complex guy to get working, in my opinion. I had a few difficulty. His R0 honestly isn't that strong. R3 is really where he opens up. R5 even more. So if you do have the ability to get him up to R5, you know, obviously go for it. But I think that at R3 he's really strong even without the Felbies. But without further ado, guys, I'll let y'all go. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.